welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking all things Makoti, costs, husband, partner, all the things, even family if you're firstborn, that surround December. Big days, because whether we like it or not, December is coming, and December usually comes with an expense. Sometimes we end up paying for this expense in January, February, and even March the following year. But you know what, without getting further into the details of the video, I want us to get into the comments. What does December mean to you in your family? Are you the chief Makoti? Are you the firstborn? Do you make sure Uguti you hold the key to the storeroom? I want to know. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, a huge thank you to Sanlam Credit Solutions for sponsoring part of this video. Let's get straight into this video. I'm ready for this conversation. Let's go.
Hey there, it's Yolz channel.
There's nothing worse than letting December happen to you. Thankfully, December is about 5 months away from now. So me and you, whatever position we take in the family, it doesn't actually matter. We still have time to pre-plan. Do not let December happen to you. Take the next few months to actually plan ahead. Find out what is happening. Is somebody coming back from the mountains? Are we celebrating something huge? Or is there a massive annual family holiday, getaway trip, whatever the case may be? What is happening in December, so that from now you can actually manage, first of all, your mental capacity? Because socially, let me be honest with you, some of us have a certain capacity for family and for social things. I know I've got a social battery, and for me to get into the festive season, I need to know what's happening in order for me to actually be in that festive mood. And that also comes with a good amount of planning. Sometimes when I've planned for it, I can manage expectations, my own expectations about you're going to see these people for the next 2 weeks, back to back to back to back. Whether as a Makoti or a firstborn, trust me, you need to actually plan. In fact, even if you're a lastborn, if you are sebenza ekaya, there are certain expectations where you either need to contribute or whether you take full responsibility for a certain thing that's happening. So what is happening in your life? For me personally, if I'm going to Eslalini, Kunini, and I'm gonna actually go into some of the mistakes I've made before, which I didn't listen to my friend. I did not plan. I would get into the car, we drive to Eastern Cape besides everything else, and I'm borrowing somebody's knife. I remember going into someone's home and literally they gave me the potatoes and the water. No peeler in sight. I needed to find my own peeler. Go back home, ran back home and had to ask for something. How embarrassing. Don't be that person. Also, if you have things like my husband, who's a firstborn grandson, Puti, gune roof elikayo. There is this, there is that. He only comes with his toolkits. There are things that he would have done better if he actually pre-planned, and this all comes with planning beforehand, months ahead of time. What is needed and how much is that going to cost? Now, besides the financial aspect of it, the one thing that gives you peace of mind is if you know what is into your scope. In fact, to the part where Ufezile, our child, we need to pre-plan the toys that he goes with. There's other kids there. We can't just, we've made the mistake of going with one Nintendo and there's like 5 kids there. Yolz. What must happen? So we had to actually hide it. My mom-in-law had to hide that little toy because it can't be shared amongst kids, and it's obviously unfair. But I mean, when we talk about planning, we're not just talking about the finances. It literally means if there is an event, what are you going to be wearing? If Zotungisa Paya, have we spoken to that person? Tina gets time to this side, we've got our person, so we would actually sit down together and plan. Are we matching? So Korani, okay, cool, there's this event. What is actually needed for me as Makoti? And that you need months to plan for. Unfortunately, all these things need inyugu. One of the things that were hard for us in the beginning, because I'm Swati, my husband is Xhosa, was actually sitting down and going, okay, what do you guys actually do in Eastern Cape? I felt awkward asking, right? but I didn't actually understand how much peace of mind and also a headache it would take away if we did sit down, because then I'd understand Uti, there are certain costs that are expected either from him or myself or my mom-in-law, because we come as one when we get there, right? So sit down with your partner if you are Makoti, sit down with your mom if you are the firstborn and you guys are hosting at home. When we are back at Cape Town or at Durban, wherever mom is, sit down prior and say, what are the expectations going into December? We've got 5 months to go, so what do I need to put in place financially, okay? Let's put a budget together. What do you expect from me this year? Pugendon. And how much is it gonna cost? And if I can't, how can I manage these expectations? Where can I say no? And you can only really know that once things are actually put down on paper. Now, it's a very difficult conversation when you are dealing with another human being. And this is where I always say, bring a third party, a mediator. You know, sometimes I think the worst thing that could happen in December is fighting about money. And the worst part is most of us know what we're earning in December, but most of us don't know how much we spend in December, which is mind-boggling, isn't it? Because the rent stays the same, all the other expenses stay the same, but ubunandi, it's a running bill. And somehow, most of the time, it lands on someone. If it's not Makoti, it's the firstborn. If it's not the firstborn, somebody is going to actually have to cop out the bill. So rather know beforehand. Sit down with your partner. What we normally do is, I think I've shared this with you guys, once a year we sit down with our financial advisor. This is also a good lesson for me because we've never actually presented to her the different costs that are involved, which you do know in December if we are going to Eslalini. But this is a good time for me to call on my financial advisor and say, hey, we've got this big bill, the roof needs to be done. We don't know if we can do the whole roof. It's going to cost 20,000 rand, but we only go home once a year. How can we help out? Let's look at those finances. And this is also where I would say, if you don't have a financial advisor, definitely check out the Sanlam Credit Solutions dashboard, where you can actually request for a financial advisor, a registered financial advisor. I am not one, by the way. This doesn't constitute as financial advice. However, I'm leading you to somebody who's qualified to have a conversation with them, and they can give you financial advice, qualified financial advice that can work for your finances. Because the reality is, finances are personal. Yes, socially it sounds great, my city, as poor men, let's go do this, let's go do that. But at the end of the day, each pocket is so different. It's so funny because when you are in the December festive mood, it doesn't matter. Everybody has money, or at least that's assumed. But in reality, let's just fast forward to today, you know your pocket. So because you know it, have somebody who's maybe neutral to speak to you and your mom, or you and your partner, and say, we're not going to make 20,000 rand. Where is that 20,000 rand going to come from? Okay, what we can do is put away, maybe not for this year, but for next year. But we can start now. Let's start with 2,000 rand every single month, you know, and plan ahead for next year. Other small costs that add up. One of the things that also happened, Kavya is lulling me, also culture shock, was the fact that we must turn there by KFC before we get home. Because you can't come home empty-handed. I'm like, but why? You're visiting. Why must we come with food? No, Yolz. I can't even say my Makoti name. Not your bags. We're not here to just accommodate your bags, please. Sifuna ipaket. And there's other visitors, so please include everyone else, you know. But that's not the only night that you are serving food. Which nights as a Makoti are you cooking? What meals have you planned? Those meals have a cost. Is there going to be slaughtering? Hey guys, a cup is expensive, by the way. So I had absolutely no concept whatsoever about how much a sheep costs, or a goat, or a cow. So no upfront, so that you and your partner can actually sit down and be like, actually, we can't contribute to this, but we can contribute to other things, okay? There's other pre-costs involved as well. One of the things that my mom-in-law does very well is pre-servicing the vehicle that we'll be going with to the Eastern Cape, which I absolutely love. But again, that is pre-planning that is needed. And if you're going as a group, she has a big enough car, we then have to plan in terms of petrol contribution, and then the stops along the way, Silani, because you can't be driving 9 hours to Eastern Cape and not be eating along the way. And then when you get there, again, outside of the KFC that you are buying, you're going into somebody's home. You're gonna be eating every single day. I love this about my mom-in-law. She also does meal planning. So she knows ukuthi I'll be taking over the pot for X and Y date. When Makoti uzophenga on these and that date, how much is that gonna cost? Which again, this is the perfect time to say, baby, ahlale phansi. Sizofaka malini. How much can we actually afford to? And the one thing that I've learned very strongly is there's nothing wrong with saying no, as long as it's justified and you know the facts. Your pocket cannot move further than 5,000 Rand. Your pocket can't do that. Don't be that person because we're goalie. Now you want to be making it rain. You getting one, you getting it. Come January, back to school. School fees, stationery, and all these costs, they don't end. But because we know ahead of time, December is coming, December is costly, make way for the cost that you can. And that also brings me to my last point, which is managing the mental load that comes with the festive. The festive is amazing. Festive season, especially, there's no December like South African December, let's be real. It big days, it big as Sauda. And there's also nothing better than the warmth of family and fun. However, afterwards, that's where we start seeing the pain. Literally, I've seen after the first week of January, people suffer. We move from eating meat every day to now eating cabbage ka. We fall into the Daniel fast by force, not because we want to. Guys, we're not doing that next year, please. What we are doing is managing our own mental load by setting clear boundaries with our families. I love you, but this is how much I can spend this year. I love you, but this is how much I can go. I can't go on that family trip this year because come January, stationery this year costed us 3K. Grade 1, guys. And Asba, are these kids eating stationery? I have no idea, right? However, it is on you. The onus is on you to say upfront, I am not able to do that. And not just because of your pocket, but also to save you the mental load of having to say no under pressure. Or worse, having to say yes under pressure, knowing that the consequences are January. The worries of January are coming. So for me, the hardest part is setting boundaries then and there. But it's easier for me to condition my mom if I'm going home ahead of time and say, hey, I don't have money to do XYZ. Or my husband and say, listen, we don't have XYZ. Who's going to break the news? By the time we're there, we've now played the scenario over and over in our heads. It's so much easier to say no because you've preset those boundaries. Don't be setting new boundaries when you get there. Because I know. Not this year. Also, it's for your own self-discipline. At the end of the day, it's not just no so that other people can know that you've got boundaries. Your own discipline is key. And if you say something to yourself, and I always say that keep the promises you make to yourself. It's a promise that you've made yourself about, I only have 10,000 Rand to spend this December. Let me stay disciplined and stick it through. You are the one keeping the promises that you made to yourself. And also it helps you practice over and over about proper planning prevents poor performance. We're still gonna have fun, but there's nothing better than having fun that's pre-planned for. Because you know what? Somebody's asking for 50 Rand, you're like, oh, I've got a little kitty fun box, nyana, whatever the case may be. There's some coins that I just kept for the kids, they're gonna ask for sweets. You didn't bring the sweets, but you brought the coins for the sweets. So uzobapha without feeling as though they're taking something away from you. And once the kitty is finished, the kitty is finished. It was fun, guys. I enjoyed it. December was great. And you know what? I still have left over for January. I still have stationery money for January. I still have registration fee if I'm a student for January. You've worked hard for your money. So rather work hard too, just a little bit before December in terms of planning for your money, putting things in place. And now, not all of us are skilled in the planning portion, which is why I always say then, bring on a financial advisor. Bring on somebody who understands finances. Bring on somebody who's a confidant and you don't mind sharing, your budget with them. You don't mind sharing your money with them in terms of money matters. Not just share money, And also, please, ningabolekisi imali ngo December. Okay? If you don't have money to give, just J for J, you don't have money to lend out. Don't make that mistake because that money never comes back. January, they're not going to have money. Broke. Come February, they're trying to make up for the losses at December. Even come March, bonus season, they're still paying for December sins. Don't do that to yourself, okay? So yeah, set the boundaries, stick to them. Don't let December happen to you. The only thing that I would say, especially if you are a Makoti or a firstborn, yes, it's hard to say no, but it's easier to say it well ahead of time so that they can actually understand, and you have the time to massage uno wako. Yo, kunzima yazi this year, mama. Yo, kunzima yazi. No one's gonna bother you because you've been saying kunzima for months. Start now, Sana. Especially if you are also telling yourself, but I need to start tightening my belt for my own mental health, so that come next year, there's a newness and a freshness that comes with it. You can enjoy it without the December worries and woes that came with decisions you made impulsively and an empty pocket, Sana. We want full bank accounts come next year. Yeah, does. I start the year off and I'm just like, okay, where's this money going? Where's that money going? Is it growing wherever I'm sending it to? Because the reality is, December money usually doesn't grow. It doesn't go to places where it's a seed and it's going to be fruitful. December money, iyaphela. I sound like my mom doing iphele sana. So if you haven't planned for it, you are not spending it. I hope that helps you plan better. And again, if you need any help planning outside of just taking this advice from me, I am not a financial advisor. Get yourself a financial advisor. Simply have a look at the Sanlam Credit Solutions dashboard, request a call from a financial planner, somebody who's qualified to give you financial advice according to your personal finances. Ask all the questions that you need to ask, and of course, make sure that you are being transparent with your finances so that even to yourself, December is coming and December will go as well. What you want is to be knowledgeable and know exactly where your money is going and where your money is growing. I hope this helped. I love you guys so much, and of course, I definitely want to know about what kind of December are you having. Let me know in the comment section. Give this video a massive thumbs up, and of course, if you haven't subscribed, I don't understand why. I'd say put it in the comment section why, but I don't actually want to really know. It's free. Simply click subscribe and join the Yolz channel family. I love you guys so much. Bye.